All right, welcome back to Bloomberg's Fast Forward. I'm Lisa Murphy. Well, Stonyfield Farm started as a 7-cow organic farm school back in New Hampshire. Today, though, it dominates. That was back in 1983. Today, it dominates the organic yogurt market, generating more than $360 million in annual sales and donating 0% of its profits, or 100% of it, 10% of its profits, to protecting and restoring the earth. Those typos can sometimes make a big difference. Well, CEO Gary Hirshberg has overseen Stonyfield's growth from the very beginning. He's also the author, I love the title of this book, Stirring It Up, How to Make Money and Save the World at the same time. And he joins us here at Bloomberg, and I was fortunate enough to meet you earlier in the day as I moderated a panel on how to measure success. And your particular views, I think, were really captivating, because you didn't start off in business school like many CEOs do, dreaming of life running a big multi-million-dollar company, and somehow you managed to do it.
You know, quite the opposite. I would say my business school has been called Stonyfield Farm. I came out of college committed to trying to do something to reverse climate change and also reverse the trends of the ecological trends that we now talk about today. But this is back in the 70s of toxification and water depletion and family farmer decline. We've lost a million farmers since 1960. So I wanted to be part of the solution to all of that.
You really had a very social mission, which we talked a lot about this earlier today. Companies now, particularly after financial crisis, many people are talking about ethics and how that figures into the way you run a company, and whether or not it's additive or detrimental to profits, and whether or not that really matters. But you were asking yourself this, 20 years ago, and the reality is your bottom line is pretty significant.
Well, as is typical of entrepreneurs, I seem to be going in the opposite direction. I talked about ethics back then. Nowadays, I just talk about profits, because what we've become is a success, not only as a company, but as an industry, $24.5 billion organic industry that's growing double digits, grew through the recession at double digits. We're showing that everybody can win, that our stakeholders, our stockholders, we've had a 23% compounded annual growth rate now for 19 straight years. So too have many of my peers. Our shareholders have obviously benefited enormously, but so too have our farmers, our farms, the cows, our consumers, our employees. So I really talk about this as win-win-win-win-win economics.
Now, one of, I would say, the big factors in your success was the growth of organic as a trend in the country. As we became more aware of what impact our foods had on disease and our overall health, people have clamored, particularly in a city like this one, to more organic type foods. That's been a big driver of your success. What else has led to the success of Stonyfield?
Well, I think that driver was inevitable, because when you realize that, a lot of people say to me, organic isn't really proven. I would say it's the chemicals that aren't proven. We've been on a 60, 70-year experiment with our bodies and with the planet. We see evidence of toxification and resource depletion everywhere, and certainly we see climate change, the result of not paying attention to our carbon footprints. And so now we're finally seeing the real economic costs of these externalities. So inevitably, consumers are interested in just protecting themselves. President's Cancer Panel this summer said that 42% of Americans are going to experience cancer in their lifetimes. That's up 100% over a decade ago. So it's a trend line. And so the number one reason people come to organics is to protect themselves and their families. So this was bound to happen sooner or later.
This was inevitable. You were well timed. Well, let me ask you about just when you look at the yogurt market in general, and I'm a big yogurt fan, and one thing that I've noticed, and I don't even know how it made its way into my refrigerator, but now I buy it quite a bit, is Greek yogurt.
Absolutely.
How does that infringe on your market share, and do you look at competition that way, or do you just focus on your own product?
Well, first of all, we're one of the leaders in Greek yogurt, so I'm with you.
Oh, is that Greek?
Oikos.
I didn't realize that was part of your company.
Oikos yogurt is us, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, basically, the excitement here is not about Greek as much as it is the benefits of Greek, which is low carbs, high protein, incredible taste at a fat-free level. No, organic Greek, we're the only organic Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt as a category is now $250 million. It didn't even exist 2 years ago, so there's an awful lot of fridges like yours with it. And what's not to love? Our Oikos is by far and away our growth rocket ship these days.
All right, fantastic. In every industry, there's always a growth sector and a hot sector, hot new trend. All right, Gary Hirshberg, thank you so much.
Lisa.
CEO of Stonyfield Farm, joining us today on the show.